how are we doing, everybody? Welcome to my latest vlog, and I've got something a little bit different for you today. So, let's see, where are we? Well, where are we? We're in Bucharest. What are we going to do? We're going carp fishing. Where are we going? You'll find out. I've been invited by my good friend Andrew, who I met over at the World Championships about 3 years ago. I've been invited over to fish one of his waters that he's a syndicate member on. Very privileged to come over and fish this. Come over with our friend Ryan as well. And yeah, we're round at Andrew's house. You can see all of the kit. Now he's prepared all of this for us. I've literally turned up with a suitcase and he has done all of the donkey work. So he's booked the lake, got the bait, got the tackle sorted out. We are being treated like royalty. And here we are. There we go. That's my good friend Andrew. And we've got Ryan sitting over there, or Rolo as he is known. And yeah, this is all the kit. So we're ready to go. We haven't slept last night. It's my flight got in at 2:30 in the morning. Ryan's been here for a few days. And lads haven't slept at all either, but we're super excited. We've had a nice strong Romanian coffee. We're going to load the van up. We've got about an hour journey, something like that, until we're at the lake. So next time you see me, we'll be at the lake. And we'll have a look at, how do you pronounce the lake?
Tancabesti.
Lake Tancabesti. And what does it stand for?
2 lakes, 2 brothers.
2 lakes, 2 brothers. And hopefully a few giant carp as well. That'd be nice. Right, well, we're at the lake. What a lake this is. It's called 2 lakes, 2 brothers. And basically the lakes, you've got 2 lakes and it's run by 2 brothers. Convenient name, eh? Basically, the first lake that you come across is you pay your fee. It's a bit like an English trout fishery, really. You pay your fee, and you can take up to, I think, 5 kilos of carp. Because over here in Romania, carp and a lot of other countries, carp are table fish. You know, that's what they're bred for. So that's a sort of traditional.
That was a big snake.
Yeah. Big snake, was it?
I'm done.
That's just the boys just did a big snake down on the waterfront there. But then the second lake is like a sort of, it's a nature, well, like a nature reserve at the top end, and this is all catch and release, and it's got some great big fish in it, especially some big grassies, some big commons, and a few nice big scaly mirrors as well, and by the sounds of it, a few big snakes. We have got the N2 swims. Now it's quite a strange setup. You can see the lake disappearing off into the distance up there, which is where we arrived in. They've got a lovely cafe and facilities up there. And then on the lake, I thought they were man-made. When I heard that they had floating reed beds, I thought they were like man-made floating reed beds, like you get sort of in England, where the to sort of like harbour the aquatic life of the lake and stuff. But actually these reed beds are completely natural, but they just float around the lake. And underneath the reeds, you've got these huge channels and cut-throughs and stuff. So we've got the boat, we've got the N2 swims up the end here, and the reeds start and then just disappear off up into the lake. It's pretty awesome, and I'm sure I'll get some video footage of that in a minute. But they've just had a catfish competition on here for the last 3 days, I think it is. Some huge catfish have been caught. It's really interesting seeing the guys. They're just packing up now and seeing them winding in their live bait rigs and their huge, great big sort of boat rod stuff. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. But I'm going to see if I can just show you very quickly. Is it okay to come in and film? Yeah? Yeah? You can see here, that is the unhooking mat for the catfish, and it goes up to 2.50 meters is the weigh thing on there. And they put the rods out, they boat the rods out, put them in these stands with the rods up in the air like this, and have their live baits out there using little carp, I think, little crucian carp. Yeah, trying to catch the huge catfish that's in here. So the catfish tournament is finished. We're going to get in our pegs in a minute, and I can't wait. I'm absolutely buzzing. Let's go catch some carp.
Hello guys. Any leads on until now? No. How come I managed 4 rods? Graham managed 2. Are you drunk? Nope. We haven't drank on any palinka? No. Come on, mate.
Well, there we go, people. We'd literally just finished putting the first 4 rods out. There's my little nibs down there. The true Brit in me. And then the rod went off whilst we were in the boat. And old Rolo's got a grassy.
Is this where it starts going
This
mental?
place is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Literally dropping them real tight to the reed beds over there, like I mean right up next to them. And
Right, the
whoa, look at
clutch
that.
is set. So if it wants to go, it'll go. Okay. Take your time. It will soon go mental.
And this lake is renowned for having big grassies inside it. And
Jesus.
I think this is one of them.
Oh, this is where the fun starts.
She's woken up, yeah? Yes!
That's for sure above 40 pounds.
Nice one, Ryan. Yes, mate.
A new PB for Rolo.
A new PB, 16 kilo. There you go. I know they're not everyone's cup of tea, but personally, I think they're pretty awesome looking fish, these things. Look at the paddle on that. Absolutely amazing. Well done, Rolo.
Well done, mate.
Good start, buddy. Well, it's about dinner time on the first day now. You can see I've got my rod set up English style on the tool sticks, about as European as I get. I don't know if it's going to pick it up, but out in the water on the lines we've actually got the big orange line markers, so you can actually see when you're out in a boat where the lines are going. Without those, you just get caught in the lines all the time. And oh, hang on a second. We've been getting absolutely played with black bass today. Like, we probably had about 20 of them, I reckon. One big grassy, but so far no carp. So yeah, that's my my highest IVs. Fishing out towards the big reed bed there. We're dropping the baits right tight next to the reed beds. Oh, right tight next to the reed beds. That's UK style. And over here, da, 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 da. Check that out. That's a rod pod. Big old Romanian pod, tips right high. Oh, got a bit of action going on. Tips really high. And yeah, hopefully a few carp come. Just ordered some food from the restaurant, should be here soon. So yeah, happy days. Hopefully report back soon with a nice carp. Right, well, here we go. It's the end of the first evening, or well, beginning of the first evening I should say. Just had our dinner and the rod absolutely ramped off, and this was the culprit. 17.5 kilo of mint grassy. Look at that. Right, well done. Second PB of the day. Well done, bud.
And I've lost my sunglasses.
Right, it was the start of day 2, and we had a savage storm last night. I mean, absolutely savage. There was lightning, thunder, gale force winds, the rain was hammering down. To be honest, we were so knackered though that I think, well, I think Andrew's still sleeping through it. But yeah, first light this morning, rod tanked off. And I got one of these fellas. I've joined the Grassy Club. Whee! Hold still, let me just get a bit of video, girl. This is where they beat you up on the mat. I don't fight at all when they're coming in. And then, there you go. About £35 this one. Like torpedoes. Like a mullet or a giant chub or something. But pleased to be off the mark. £35 grassy. We did lose a carp last night just as it got dark. Unfortunately Ryan lost a proper carp underneath the reeds, but that's how it goes. But we're probably all a little bit, our batteries are a bit more charged this morning I think. So we're going to have a coffee, get the rods back out and go and catch a few more fish. Sweet. There you go, fella. Right, well, I thought I'd do a little bit of an update for everyone. So it's the second morning. We got here about, well, got into swim about 11 o'clock yesterday. Got the rods out about midday, 1 o'clock. So far we've managed 3 grass carp, and we've also lost a carp just on dusk. You probably saw the footage just a minute ago of that grassy that I had at first light. I had that massive storm last night. I've not fished in a storm like that for a very long time. You know, storms normally last sort of like an hour or 2 hours. This was 5-6 hours of just like lightning that would light the bivvy up as if someone was shining a torch inside the bivvy. And big claps of thunder and rain and stuff. It was pretty epic, to be honest with you. We didn't sleep the night before because that's when I flew in and we had to get all the kit ready. So everyone was a little bit tired. We tried to get as much sleep as we could last night, and we're looking forward to the first sort of full day of fishing. We've got a bit of a problem though, and that problem is black bass, believe it or not. You know, I've been used to getting breamed out and stuff. You know, probably people watching this get, you know, used to getting breamed out, but this is ridiculous. We're boating out there, dropping the rods next to the reeds. It seems to be whatever we're putting out, more or less, within 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you've just got black bass on it. You know, 2-3 pound black bass. And it's a problem. You know, I think we must have landed about 20 of them, 25 of them. Probably had about the same again, which was like fallen off when you're bringing them in. Yeah, it's savage. The thing with them as well is that every time we get a pickup for one, they're dropping the leads. Because we're fishing next to the reeds and stuff and we're boating out, we're using quite big leads, and then we're dropping the leads, so we're losing the lead. And because they've got bony mouths, they're also doing the hook points. So, you know, I'm going through rig after rig after rig, and we're trying to suss out how to get around them. The only bait that we've tried so far that we haven't had a black bass pick up on is tiger nut, which we know is a great grassy bait here. It's not going to be as great as boilies and stuff for the actual main carp. You know, we know that the carp in here usually like a boilie. We just can't present them. You know, like this is the, there you go, that's the rig that I wanted to fish. So we've got a sort of fish meal boilie there, hardened fish meal boilie, just topped off with a nice yellow topper. That, when you put it in the water, is not lasting more than 5 minutes, and then you've got a bass on it. So last night I changed over to this, which is one of my favourite sort of nut rigs. It's macadamia nuts. Got 3 of them on there, 3 half macadamias. That was lasting a little bit longer, not much longer. But now I'm going over to fishing sort of like classic Euro rig, sort of like a double tiger nut with a little fake maize on top, and I'm just going to feed tiger nut. I'm not putting anything else out there. I don't want to put any boilie, any hemp. I don't want anything that will attract small fish, and I don't want anything that's going to attract black bass. So that's ruling out boilies, ruling out hemp, ruling out crushed boilies. I don't want any liquid in there. My cunning plan last night was basically, what I was going to do is put the rods out on dusk, because I thought the black bass won't feed during the night, and fish boilie. So I glugged up some boilies and went out in the boat just as it got dark, placed the rod. Literally by the time I got back to shore, the rod was going in my hand, and it wasn't a black bass that time, it was a little catfish. So the fish meal boilies at night time seem to attract the catfish, and then during the day you put more or less anything else out there, bar a tiger nut, and you're going to get black bass on it. So unfortunately I didn't bring my drop shot rod, because if I did, or my lure rod, I could have had some fun with the black bass. But let's see how the tiger nut fishing goes. It's something that I've not done too much of, to be honest with you, doing the tiger nut fishing and particle fishing. I used to do quite a lot of particle fishing when I was in my teenage years, fishing sort of like maples and chickpeas and pigeon conditioner, that sort of stuff. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But you can probably see by these bags under our eyes that, and also the sunburn, that this is hard work at the moment. So let's see if we can get one of these big old mirrors on the bank, or actually one of those big commons would be nice. There's a couple of clunking great big commons in this. Let's see if we can catch one of those. Right, fingers crossed. Let's see how this one goes. Okay. Well, the sun's just starting to come up. It looks like it's going to be another glorious day today. And one of Andrew's rods ripped off. And although carp don't seem to be playing ball, these grassies are keeping us busy. This is the biggest one we've had so far. About 18, just under 18 kilos. There we go. See if I hold that properly. There's huge mats here just to protect the fish, because the fish grow enormous inside this lake. And there you go. Just under 18 kilos. I think that's around about just under 40 pound in old money. So, nice start to the morning. Let me slip her back and then see if we can go and get one of these big common carp. That's what we came for. All right.
We're rolling.
Cool. Well, there we go. First proper carp of the session. Got the carp cap on. Maybe it helped, but it's just only a little baby for this lake. But a beautiful common carp, big high backs on it. Got up a good fight. Unfortunately, it joined lines with the other fish that Ryan was playing, and that fish fell off. But I'm sure there's plenty more to come. Right. Thank you very much. Right, turn it up. Oh.
25.
25, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, it was the third morning of my trip here in Romania. I've had an amazing time so far. I had a grass carp, about 18 kilo at 3 o'clock in the morning. Haven't slept since then. I've had other grass carp, bream, black bass, helped Andrew with the small carp that he had this morning as well. But it's paid off. I've got an absolutely amazing creature here, 23.7 kilos. Check this out for a fish. Let me see if I can lift it. Oh, there we go. Oh, what about that? Absolutely built for speed. I don't know how big it is in English terms. It's got to be near 50, I think. Happy days, happy days. Right, we're gonna get some steels, then we'll pop her back and see if we can catch some more. Right, well, it's about midday on day 3 of our Romanian adventure, and this is a holiday for us. You know, we're not in a competition, we're just down here seeing some mates, having a nice holiday, and we thought we'd have a bit of fun today. Now, Ryan said before we came on the trip that he wouldn't mind catching a catfish. Now, they're not really my cup of tea, but he said he wanted to catch a catfish. And it just so happens that this lake here has got some absolutely monstrous catfish in it. They had a catfish tournament here last week. I think it got won with a 91 kilo catfish. Like, that's massive. That is huge. So anyway, we've got a little treat for Ryan. We went and spoke to a few locals this morning, and we've got him some catfish kit. Check this out. We have gone and got him a catfish rod that could also pull in a blue white, I reckon, or a great white, sorry. And I'm just looking at this braid here. Like, that reel is, I don't know if that's, like, that's massive. Look at that. The braid is probably about, well, I don't know, it's got to be 150 pound braid, I reckon, that on there, 150 pound braid, but it gets better. So we've got the tools for the job. Now we need the technique. So the locals put us onto this. What we need is we need a float, but not just any float. We need a Romanian catfish float. Check this out. It looks like I've just robbed it from the toilet. Let me just get the whole kit. And then we set it up Oh, let me get it off here. I've hooked the right. So there's our rod. 150-pound braid. Running down to 2 running leads. They drop to the bottom. This thing comes and pops up on the surface. It's a bit like, I think Gardner do a surface controller that is about 400 times smaller than this. This is like a super-sized one. And then this sits up in the water like this. This bit dangles down, and on the business end, how about that for a wide gape? Actually, it's more like a crank, I reckon. It's like a size, I don't know, 6.0 crank or something, with a treble underneath it. And that's where the live bait's going to go. Brenda the bream, or the crucian carp is the apparently on the menu this afternoon. So there we go. We're going Romanian catfish fishing. And if he hooks one, this is going to be absolutely hilarious. Let's see how we get on. Right. I'm absolutely exhausted. My back's going. I'm sunburnt. But it's all good fun. This is my 11th 35-pound plus grass carp. There it is. Beautiful creature. I think I've had 8 or 9 today. I can't quite remember, but definitely seem to have sorted out tactics of catching these fellas. And those people that say that grass carp don't fight, come to Romania, because they absolutely beat you to pieces. Right, I'm going to get this one back in the water and then get the rod sorted, tie some new rigs, see if I can catch number 12. Well, the weather seems to turn a little bit. So we're bivvy bound. It's absolutely lashing down, so there's only one thing for it. Have a nice beer.
You see what he's done here?
Well, here we go. Catfish adventure time. What's going on, Ryan?
Wow, we've hooked into something abnormally brutal.
The bell just started twitching a bit as the bait fish was moving.
Right, watch your head.
Really?
She's out the reeds. She's next to the boat.
Lift it, Ryan.
I've got
Lift
the.
it.
Here she comes up.
Jesus Christ!
Look at that.
Fucking jaws, man! Fucking
What a Romanian adventure.
That's the grip. That's the grip. Hold it. Can you hold it? Like that?
Yeah, I've got him.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're rolling, boys.
Thank you.
I just don't want this treble to go. Where are we going to take it to? Shall I swim?
Yeah.
So, Dr. Rolo,
Dr. Fish.
what are you operating on tonight?
That's right under the...
So Rolo has got his dream. A big Romanian pussy.
Very slippery.
Here we go. 65.5-pound catfish. Oh, she's a beauty. Hug that slug. Look at that. What are you doing with it, Rolo? What are you doing?
It's not long enough.
What are you doing? Let me just come round in front of you. You got to put your...
It's been a while.
Yeah. Get it more in the middle. You got his tail hanging out. You got to get your hands... Let his tail still on the mat. You got to get his tail... Don't... Don't hold it so close to its head. Get it down by its stomach so you're in the middle of the fish. There you go. Oh yeah, look at that beautiful catfish. Nice, mate. Well done, buddy. I'm pleased for you.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much.
Okay, right, so it's the final full day that I've got. Got a good night's sleep last night. Just put the rods out this morning. Decided to put them back on the grassies because the common carp that Andrew's fishing for, the big carp, oh, don't seem to be feeding at the moment. Hopefully they come on the feed today. The rod's been out half an hour. There we go. 19 kilo of grass carp. The grassies in here are a phenomenal average size. This is average. Absolutely amazing place. Grassy number 13. Happy days. So it's about midday today. We're coming to our final full day of our trip to Tancabesti in Romania, and what a trip it's been. It's been absolutely fantastic. Brilliant venue, amazing friends. It really has been a great fishing trip. But I thought as soon as we're coming to the end of the trip, I've managed to figure out and piece a few things together with regards to catching grass carp. So I thought I'd share it on this vlog. For any of you that fancy going and catching a big grassy, these tips might help you out. So to start with, we tried fishing boilie, we've tried corn stacks, we've tried boilie tipped with corn. And the problem we've been having is we've been troubled by nuisance fish when we've scaled down the bait to sort of smaller boilies and to little tiny baits, bit baits. And we've even been getting troubled by nuisance fish fishing single boilies. So Andrew's been fishing I think 2 or 3 18mm boilies on the hair, trying to target the normal carp. What I've done is I've come away from that and I've actually figured out how to target the grass carp without getting a nuisance species. So what I've been doing is taking some tiger nuts, these ones here. I've got to say a big thank you to one of Andrew's sponsors, Sensor Planet, sorry, baits. They've supplied us with all the bait for this trip, so thank you very much, guys. It really is most appreciated, and it's also been quality bait as well. I'll show you the maize in a minute. It's sick, that stuff there. So we take some of the tigers, a couple of handfuls in the bucket, and then we take the maize. I don't know if the camera's going to pick this up or not, but check this out for maize. Like, it's bright yellow. Really, really nice stuff. So we take a few scoops of that, pop in the bucket. Using a mixing spoon here. We also use that to scoop it out off the side of the boat on the spot. Mix it up. There we go, simple as that, and that's the feed that we've been using. As far as tackle and tactics, we're boating out against this big floating reed bed behind me. That's about 10 to 15 acres of reed. It's not a far bank, it's not an island, those are floating reeds. They basically are grouped together and they float around the lake. Now we're fishing tight up against them, using the boat to motor out there with the electric outboard, dropping it really, really close, I mean centimetres away from that reed bed, and then we're taking the bait scoop and literally scooping 2 or 3 scoops of the maize and the tigers over the top, and that seems to be what the grassies want. Tackle wise, I've got the tawnies here spooled up with braids. Now for me that's been vital on this trip because there's no stretch, so when I'm getting the bites I'm able to lift the rod, walk backwards up the swim and actually pull the fish away from those reed beds, because as I say, they're undercut, they float, so the fish will go underneath them trying to find the snags. And I've had quite a good hook to land ratio on this trip, so I think that's really helped. And then I'm using 13-foot high sieve rods from Free Spirit. Where we're landing them from the bank, we wanted a rod that's got the power but also the fish playing capabilities to land these big fish, these powerful grass carp and powerful carp that swim in the side of this lake from the bank. So rather than going for 10-foot highest boat carps, which are brilliant for playing the fish from the boat, we've gone for the longer rods to actually play the fish from the bank. So that's my setup. As far as rig wise, and I'll do a little close up of this probably in a second, but it's a bit of a strange one really, because the rig that I found that the grassies like and actually avoids catching the small species, I've had a few bream and stuff on it but not loads, is a very simple ronnie. So just fishing a ronnie, but then what I'm doing is fishing a single piece of fake corn and I'm topping it, so that on the top of it I've got a 10mm cork ball. That's not even flavoured, it's just a plain bit of cork, but it means that it sinks super slowly and comes to settle on top of the bait, and I think it's just getting sucked up into the grass carp's big mouths as they go and feed on the bait which is on the bottom. But because there's not so much flavour inside this, the nuisance species aren't coming down. The corn isn't soaked in anything, it's not got beetling around it, the cork's not soaked in anything at all either. So I don't think they're super attracted to this. I think they're going more for if the bream do get onto the bait, they're going for more the sort of sweet maize that's down here rather than going for what's on the hook bait. So that's the tactics I'm using. It seems to be working. And I'm going to put the rods back out. I'm going to redo the rods. One thing I have found, and it's quite easy to do when you're boat fishing, you just leave the rods out there. But what I found is that I've been having a few little bleeps and drop backs and stuff, only little tiny twitches, but where I'm using the braid, everything gets transmitted through to the bobbins. And if that happens, especially if I get a little drop back, I'm redoing the rods after half an hour, because where that's a floating reed bed, on the bottom it's not a clean bottom, there's loads of chod, there's loads of debris out there, and I think that, you know, if a fish swims through the line and pulls that lead back, or something moves that lead for whatever reason, the hook is just going to bury down in the chod, and then you're just not going to get anything. You're not fishing effectively when it's out there. So I'm going to redo the rods. So it's about midday, it's getting really hot, we've had beautiful weather mixed with awesome thunderstorms, so it has been literally sort of two extremes on this trip. We'll see if I can put a few more grassies on the bank. Alright, hopefully you're enjoying this, guys. I certainly am. Put the rods out and sit back and relax.
Cu reni, cu astea, să spui. 20 de lei sau 20 de lei la un plac. Da, spui. Ca să știi. Taras, vorbește cu ăla?
Right, so just buzzing out to the spot. Got a lovely little mincoater there. There's our swim. And there's the bay, and then looking out, here's the reed bed that we're going up to. So the spot that I'm fishing is just along here. There's a tiny little clump of reeds that I'm aiming for. And I've got to place the bait right next to them. There's a tiny little spot that the lead goes down with quite a hard thump. And I think that's why I'm picking up the grassies from there. Grassies are renowned for feeding on a nice firm bottom, and everything here is silt and chod and stuff. But there's just one spot right next to this little clump of reeds in front of us that the fish like to feed on. Oh, you can actually see some bubbling. Trying to cut the engine. The trick is to try and swing the back of the boat in so you can drop. There's a fish in the reeds there. Right, so just that spot there, where my fingertip is, that's where I'm putting the bait. So I better turn this off now. Oh, there's a big puff of silt come up in that little cove there. And that actually cuts in, I don't know if you can make it out, that cuts in up here, and there's actually a channel behind. Right, I'll put the camera down, time to drop the rig. Right, well, it's the final evening. A quick change of tactics. Came off the grassy rigs, really wanted to catch a Romanian common carp, and then, don't you dare. guys are lining up a bucket of water for me. It's not a PB, right, it's not a PB. Come on in, lads, come on.
Alright, let's just...
Nice. There we go, this is what it's all about. Mates on tour, Romanian fishing adventure. 14, was it 14.5 kilo, I think?
Yeah.
The light's fading, we've got to get the rods back out, but thank you very much. Thank you very much, Andrew, really appreciate this.
Well,
Andrew as well, right.
Thanks, man.
Right, let's go catch some more.
We're rolling, G.
Here we go, seconds. Whoa, hold still, go. Second common carp of the night. A real long, hard fighter machine, this one. Huge tail on it. Gave an epic boat battle out in the mist, spinning the boat around in the dark, and about 15.8 kilos this one. Beautiful fish. Made my night. Look at the barbels on it, massive barbels. Cool. Thank you very much, Romanian fish. How do you say thank you in Romanian?
Mulțumesc.
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 Mulțumesc. Check that out, final night brace. One of 4 fish taken this side of midnight. How big was yours, Ryan?
19.
19, new PB for Ryan. And this fella here is 17. 2 different shaped commons. Check that out. Lovely.
Day.
Well done, lads.
Right, put this one here. Right, it's about 2:30 in the morning. It's my 4th common of the night. Definitely change of tactics have paid off on the final night. Fishing double 20mm boilies. Come off of the particles that were getting the grassies. And this lovely fat common came along. Spot seems to be rocking. Gonna get the rods back out. Hopefully, have another one. Well, it's my final morning here on Lake Tancabesti. It's been absolutely amazing last night. I've had about 40 minutes sleep, I think. We've landed 7 carp with a catfish that unfortunately managed to do us in the reeds, which is a real shame. However, down in that net there, I've got something very, very special to end my Romanian fishing adventure. So let's have a look and see what's in there. Well, there we go, final morning. I think it's my 5th fish of the night. And what a beautiful way to end my Romanian fishing adventure with one of the lake's rare mirrors. Absolutely beautiful fish. 15.5 kilos. Made up with this one. Well, this is the end of my Romanian fishing adventure. I'm sat at Gatwick Airport at the train station, just waiting to get a train back down to Worthing. And I get in about midnight and then off to work again first thing in the morning. But what an adventure it's been, you know, an amazing 4-day trip. I think we had about 30 fish, something like that. Lots of grass carp. I had 13 grass carp, all over 35 pounds. Sorry, all over 30 pounds of grass carp. Had some beautiful commons, beautiful mirrors, some catfish. But best of all, we had loads of laughs. Met some really nice people, sort of friends for life. And yeah, I'll definitely be doing it again. There's plenty to be said about going out and exploring these venues, going and, you know, meeting people, going and fishing different places. Don't just get stuck in a rut fishing the same place. The world is a very, very, very small place nowadays, with airports and transport and Eurotunnels and stuff like that. So go and explore, people.